Everyone, welcome back to the NFA Review channel. Today we're going to take an in-depth look at the KGM Technologies RF22 suppressor. Before we get started, I just want to make a note. My 6-month-old daughter Emma is sleeping about 10 feet that way into the other room. She has about 20 minutes of her nap left, so we're going to have to really get this thing move along here before she wakes up. But before we get started on the actual review, I just want to thank you guys for all the feedback that you gave on the video, both on Vice and of course on my channel, where I explained all the behind the scenes about the Vice video. A lot of excellent feedback. I read every single comment that you guys left, so thank you again for supporting me there. And speaking of supporting, huge shout out to all my gold members on Patreon. You guys rock. I've been kind of looking at the end of the year. I've been looking at who's been staying with it month to month, and who's been using all the awesome discounts, who's been buying suppressors at a discount, who's been buying firearms at a discount. You guys have really been getting your use out of it, and that makes me happy because you guys help me out with the channel, and in return, you guys get the discounts. So it's a win-win situation, and everything's pretty stabilized right now. We have like a hardcore base following on Patreon, and that would not be possible without your support. So thank you very much for that. Let's go ahead and take a close look at the KGM Technologies RF22, and then we'll hit the range and see how it does. All right, nice little skinny box here. All the SOT dealers would be happy about that because they have to sit on these for about a year and they're safe. You know, while I'm on that, I wish a manufacturer would put like a fillable sticker here, you know, customer name, serial number, phone number of the customer. Just, that'd be a really nice gesture for the dealers out there. I know they can put a post-it note on it, but it'd be pretty cool if the manufacturers kind of thought ahead and did that because of, you know, it'd just be nice to be able to open your safe as a dealer and look at it. Oh, okay, John's can came in. Oh, here's his number. Hey, you know, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, thought I'd mention that. In the box, you will find a really robust takedown tool and the RF22 itself. We'll get to the takedown in just a second. As usual, let's go ahead and start with the specifications on the suppressor, and then we'll take it apart, take a closer look, and of course mention all the key features. So the RF22 comes in at an overall length of 5.2 inches, has a diameter of 1.2 inches, and a weight of only 4.2 ounces. As you might have guessed, that weight comes in the form of titanium. So as far as construction, you have a grade 9 titanium tube with a grade 5 blast baffle, and then the subsequent, I think there's 8 baffles after the blast baffle. All of those are 7075 T6 aluminum with a type 3 hard coat anodizing. So very lightweight, very strong materials in use here. Now, as far as the calibers that this was optimized for, key word there, it was optimized for 22 long rifle, 17 HMR, and 22 WMR, but it is also rated for 5.7x28. For those of you out there that want to throw this on an FN handgun or a P90, something like that, it can handle it, but optimized for the other calibers. As far as the finish, like the other model that I reviewed for them, the R30, if you haven't seen that review, go ahead and click up the link up there and you'll see a full review on their R30 rifle suppressor. But much like that one, this has the same sniper gray Cerakote finish, very evenly applied, has like a satin sheen to it. Now, as far as suppression, it's all host dependent, and they were getting a reduction of 28 to 32 decibels of reduction, depending on if it's on a pistol, if it's on a rifle, how short the barrel is, what ammunition you're using. So 28 to 32 decibels of reduction for this little guy. And of course, retail price, don't want to forget that, comes in at $450 retail. So now that we have that out of the way, let's go ahead and cover how to take it apart. So you can take it apart from either end, I believe. I always start with the front cap on mine, but they do have both sides here. So you'll see the rear interlocks with the rear cap area, and then the front, turn it around, and it slides into the end cap. Now, as far as the mount on this, it is also grade 9 titanium, so that's pretty cool. But let's go ahead and just remove the front cap. There is some anti-seize grease applied on the threads from the factory. And then we'll just slide out the baffle stack. all encapsulated. We'll touch base on that in a second. And you have a grade 5 titanium blast baffle, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 7075 baffles that I mentioned earlier. So pretty cool. They are all identical. There are no notches in it, and they snap together. Why is that? So when you don't have notches and you have a universal orientation, number one, when you put it back together, it's always going to stay the same as far as the gas flow through the suppressor. And number two, you can't put it together wrong and change your point of impact at the range. So if you've seen the R30 review from KGM, they have a tendency to put accuracy importance a little bit above suppression, and then everything else, recoil, all that stuff, ease of use, maintenance, materials. Accuracy with KGM is like top, and we have to get that through our heads here. So with them, they had to design the baffle stack in a way to where, as an end user, we couldn't screw it up and change our point of impact shift, and the design is inherently accurate. So, and it's, you know, as far as maintenance is going to be simple. Encapsulated baffles aren't new. They've been around for quite some time now, but they make cleaning really simple. So what I mean by that, if you're new to suppressors, is when you assemble the baffles, they create a sealed unit, essentially, as you can see here. Now, when I slide that in the tube, what that does is it keeps all the gas and lead deposits, carbon, off of this tube wall. The reason why that's bad is if it adheres and when it's hot and it cools down in here and it solidifies as carbon and lead, it makes it a real pain in the butt to hammer out that baffle stack from the tube. So when you have an encapsulated baffle stack, instead of like an open K baffle, you won't get all those deposits on the tube. So cleaning simple and inherently accurate. That's pretty much my takeaways here. So very simple baffle design. I'll show some close-ups there. You'll see a little inside lip that coincides with the front lip of the baffle, and they just kind of interlock together. Pretty self-explanatory. Now earlier, before I started filming, when I was familiarizing myself with it, I was looking at it, I'm like, oh man, the blast baffle on the inside is, you know, deeper on one side than the other. And I was like, oh crap, which way did I take it out of there? Was it the baffle closer to the muzzle of the can? Was it further away? Well, I took another closer look at it, and there is a recess machined on the inside, so you actually cannot assemble it the other way. The baffle won't fit. So he thought of that. So that's cool. So as far as cleaning, aluminum and titanium here, you're going to want to kind of shy away from a ultrasonic cleaner. Just use the brush, some solvent, hit all the big chunks. You know, anytime you're dealing with 22, you're going to want to service it every 500 to 1,000 rounds, let's just say, as just a rule of thumb. Again, I say this every time I talk about maintaining a suppressor. It doesn't have to be squeaky clean. Suppressors actually get quieter with a little bit of soot on them, okay? It dulls the sound. So knock off the big chunks and don't waste your whole Sunday cleaning your suppressor. Once you have them assembled with the cone up, you can install that blast baffle the correct and only way, and then just slide it right on top. And everything's locked in nice, and just take the front cap, go ahead and get the thread started and tighten it down with the takedown tool. Super simple, no orientation to worry about, no tabs, no locking tabs, nothing. Just throw the baffles onto each other when they're clean. Make sure the mounting area is tight, the front cap's tight. Bob's your uncle, your suppressor's ready to shoot. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and get to it. Let's bring a pistol, a rifle out to the range, throw some very expensive ammo through it. Yes, even 22 is expensive these days. And let's see what it hears like. And I also want to see the accuracy. Usually don't test accuracy with 22 cans, but it's KGM. We're going to have to put it through the paces and see what it does. Let's go ahead and get to it. All right, let's do a little accuracy test here on Mr. Prairie Dog. So I am running a Holosun red dot, so not a scope. We're gonna be shooting from 20 yards, okay? Everything's set up there. I'm gonna be filming from that camera angle there. So the microphone's about 15 feet away. And what I'm gonna do is, I forget where it's zeroed, but I'm gonna aim right here, unsuppressed, 5 shots. And then I'm gonna do another 5 shots with the suppressor on, and we're gonna see if there's any point of impact shift. And as far as ammo, I'm gonna be using some fancy pants target ammo from Europe. Let's go ahead and get started. So that is 5 rounds unsuppressed. Let's go ahead and throw the suppressor on, shoot another 5 rounds. Again, I'll aim here, and we'll see if it has any point of impact shift. Yeah, I know. My glasses were fogging up, okay? I have 2 eyes. So maybe moved up a little bit. Let's try it again real quick. I'm gonna shoot a quick 5 rounds here, unsuppressed and suppressed, and confirm again. Okay, I went ahead and left the can on, so we shot suppressed for the first 5 round group. Hell yeah. Super tight. So again, I was aiming here, we grouped here. That is 5 rounds. So now I'm gonna remove the suppressor and see what happens. All right, that'll do. That will do. I will take that shooting any day of the week. 5 rounds, 5 rounds. So very minimal point of impact shift. We still got some overlay here between the 2 groups. So yeah, we're not exactly shooting a precision gun here. We're shooting a takedown rifle that comes apart all the time, and I'm using a red dot. But yeah, if you're gonna call point of impact shift here, I'm gonna say 1/8 of an inch, probably, maybe 1/4 inch tops on a takedown rifle. I'll definitely take that. That is definitely accurate for sure. All right, everybody, I hope you thoroughly enjoyed today's review. We went through exactly 150 rounds today. So we went through 50 rounds of the target ammo and then 100 rounds of the CCI standard velocity when I was doing the sound profile testing. And I guess we should go ahead and address the elephant in the room. This gun's pretty accurate for a gun that does this. It comes apart. I was pretty shocked. We had a couple issues at the beginning with the zeroing, because this sight does move around sometimes from gun to gun. I need to just, set it and forget it. So once I got it dialed in off camera, this thing shot great. That's very accurate for a 22. Yes, 20 yards isn't exactly super far, but when you're shooting a red dot, that the actual dot itself covers the entire object you're trying to precisely hit, and you still get groups the size of a nickel, that's pretty cool. So accuracy was a home run, and the sound suppression was great. I did have first round pop on the Ruger. So first shot was a little louder, subsequent shots quieted up quite nice. That's probably due to the larger blast chamber area. If you remember from the studio, it had that titanium blast baffle, a lot of oxygen in there igniting, so some first round pop issues there on the pistol. On the rifle, you literally just, that's it. It's probably super loud right here because the microphone's right next to me, but that's all you hear. And then you hear the thud of the projectile hit the dirt. Now, if you guys have been watching my channel for any amount of time, you know you should be watching my videos with headphones. So you should be able to discern this, the bullet flight, and then the bullet impact. It's not muddy right now, it's quite dry actually. So had a very, you know, like a low thud sound to it in the dirt. Sometimes when it rains out here, you can really hear that bullet thwack that mud, kind of echoes nice. So yeah, suppression's good. Nice little all-around titanium suppressor, not much else to say. I mean, 22 cans are usually inherently pretty simple. The mounting options are not complex because you're only going to run into 1/2x28, and you know, most of them come apart now for maintenance. So you know, good job to KGM for coming to market with something that held accuracy a little higher than suppression, because I have thrown 22 cans on my pistols and rifles, and it does change the point of impact quite a bit, usually because of the baffle design and weight. It's kind of a combined factor there. Weight, what was this, 4.2 ounces? Or was it 5.2 ounces? Yeah, it's 4.2 ounces, right? Off the top of my head. It's pretty light. This is a pretty heavy, you know, bull barrel here, okay? The harmonics aren't really gonna change at all. So if the harmonics aren't gonna change the point of impact shift, your baffle design will. And that is what they targeted here on the RF22. So pretty cool. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. A lot of reviews coming. I have a really cool review from Cabot Guns that I'm gonna start soon on the gun that my wife bought me. That gun's really, you know, near and dear to my heart. That gun's awesome. I will be shooting it, even though it's definitely a safe queen. I'm gonna shoot it because I'm not ever gonna sell it, so might as well enjoy it. And then Springfield Armory just sent out 2 of their Garrison 1911s, so we're gonna be reviewing those here shortly as well. And then I have pretty much gonna review the entire lineup for KGM. I got some more products coming in from AB Suppressors, so stay tuned. Click that subscribe button so you don't miss anything. And of course, if you click that like button, it does help my channel be found organically on YouTube, and we all know how much YouTube hates guns, so if you want to piss off liberals in YouTube, click that like button. See you next time.